Is different, but my experience is anyone who's willing to let me into their heart and is willing to take the action, there's really no one who couldn't get better. That's my experience.
Probably the time that I was most suicidal was when I was starting to lose everything because of my addiction to crystal meth.
I don't know, it just felt like psychic pain, like it just ached. I just ached all the time, and I wanted to die, but I didn't want to do anything to kill myself.
I was tremendously fat, fatter than most people will ever consider. I mean, the most I was ever weighed at on a scale was just under 500 pounds. The scales stop at that. I'm sure I was probably 50, 75 pounds heavier than that at my peak.
When I was on cocaine, my problem was I couldn't go to sleep. Like, the night never ended. So I could probably stay up for like 3 days on end, like on a bender.
I think I first started binging on just healthy foods.
It got to the point where I was taking, about 50 Vicodin a day.
I always felt alone. I felt really separate and apart from people. I felt different.
In my head, I felt like I was 100 pounds overweight because I would look down at my body and just pick it apart, saying, look at that fat over there, look at that fat.
I started to diet more, but it gave me a high, and when I lost the weight, it became a normal weight, I got a lot of attention, so that just created me more of a desire to lose more and more.
And then when men came into the scene, it was wanting everyone else's boyfriends, and it was wanting just next. Like, it was just another drug.
As I tried more, I found other reasons to eat. Because it's a vicious cycle. The madder you get about overeating, the more you overeat.
I was still eating worse than ever because it just kept getting worse and worse, the eating and not being able to stop, and then having to purge more and run and 10 miles and still not be thin. It was crazy.
So I was up and down, tried every diet you can imagine.
And I went through a stage where I lost a lot of weight. At that point, I was, down to somewhere 80-something.
When you're 300 pounds overweight, you don't have the personal character or strength or discipline or willpower or whatever else it is that they're telling you need to just buck up and have. You don't have it.
That's why diets didn't work. Like, if there's something I couldn't have, I wanted it.
How could you do this? Let's eat some more. Oh my gosh, let's have a drink. Let's have a gin giblet. Let's have 2. Let's just zone out. Whenever you're not there, let's zone out. When
someone says you just need to focus, I don't have focus. You just need more willpower. I don't have willpower. Like, it's just not in me.
I just remember being tremendously fearful, always looking to please people, always wanting to be liked.
It was almost like the binging was trying to fill a hole, but once I got it out, it was almost like that hole was even more empty.
There were a couple of times when I had to pull over coming home from work, and it felt like my heart was kind of beating out of my chest and kind of slowing down. There was something very wrong there, and that would happen every once in a while. And I would just ride it out. And I wouldn't go to the hospital because I didn't want anybody to know. I responded to their website. I ended up talking to Roy. And after the second phone conversation with Roy, I broke down and cried like a little baby. I mean, it was really incredible. I get choked up just talking about it right now. I just completely broke apart. I got off the phone with him, and I think I cried for about an hour and a half straight. And at that time, I had about a dozen painkillers. I had my antidepressants, and I had cigarettes. And I walked into the bathroom, and I crumbled the cigarettes, flushed them down the toilet. I poured the Vicodin down the toilet and the antidepressants down the toilet. And that was August 5th, 2000. And I have not had any one of those since.
We didn't have much of a discussion. That was pretty much it. And I went home that night to my apartment, and I ran up the stairs to binge, which I did every night. And I opened the refrigerator, and I just stood there. Like, it was almost like a force field. Like, I I couldn't eat, I didn't want to eat, and I felt like I should eat, but I couldn't eat. I just sat there like, oh my God, this guy's for real. Like, I don't want to eat, and this is like a freaking miracle.
I think Roy has a gift. I mean, he was able to heal himself, and he has a gift to help people.
Roy's presence and his love and the safety that gave me the courage to take the next step, and then to take the next step, and then to take the next step.
Without really thinking about it, I would spend time around them, just talking about the weather, the day, going for a walk, sports, my family, whatever happened to be going on that day, But I was losing weight without thinking about it. And, I think I've only been on a scale once, really since I met Roy, once, maybe twice.
I was ecstatic. I was just ecstatic. Because I connected with him. He understood the hurt, the pain. He knew the desperation. He knew it. The one person that really related and really could get to me, to the bottom of my heart.
There are people that lose weight with other programs. There's no doubt. You'll lose weight. But there is a core reason why you gained it. The only person that's ever addressed why has been Roy.
If you let Roy into your heart, he will show you the way. And that's exactly what he did for me. He reached my heart like nobody was ever able to touch my heart before. And that's the honest truth. I mean, it was really just a miracle.
Roy's incredible at helping anyone get sober or lose weight or anything like that. He can help anyone overcome anything. But what he did for me that was really the most amazing blessing and gift was help me to live in joy. To be able to be genuine and real and honest and open with every single human being you come in contact with is an incredible gift, and it comes from having no fear, which is what Roy taught me, because before I lived in constant fear of how I'd be perceived or what was going on for the other person or just trying to manage everything. And if you just show up on your own and who you are, and it doesn't really matter, you can just be free to say and do and feel however you feel and just live.
In the last 2.5 years, in the worst economy the country's ever had, my income has doubled without me ever asking anyone for anything.
I would never have thought that I could do what I did.
Roy has changed my life and has given me so much that I never thought was ever possible.
I did therapy for 6.5 years. I went to 12-step groups on a daily basis, and I kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker and was dying. And I met Roy, and I was effortlessly relieved of my eating disorder, the need to overeat, the need to purge. And I started to find out things about myself that I didn't even know were in there, and I started to heal all that stuff I thought I had healed before, hadn't even been touched. And he worked through everything inside of me. Today I'm self-assured, financially sound. My life is beyond my wildest dreams today. That's why you should call Roy.
Do whatever you have to do to meet Roy Nelson. Whatever you have to do. I cannot put in words clearly enough for anyone. I mean, if you look at me at 600, 500 pounds, 600 pounds, and you see this video today, it has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. I have no willpower. I have no self-control. I have no inherent ability to lose weight. And if I tried to do it on my own, which I did for 30 years, I just kept getting fatter. I mean, and literally spending time, learning the lifestyle, healing the inside, changed everything about my life. Everything.